for the Kristen Holta-led team to, you know, end day one, first place overall, and beating the prohibitive favorites.
Athletes, stand by.
Kristen Holta, Lena Richter, and Ingrid Odenmeyer, the three women for Team Krieger. Tied atop the overall standings with Mayfem after one event. It's score to beat the comeback team. They got through 10 of their chest bar pull-ups in that final round. The comeback team coming in tied for 16th in the overall standings, so they're looking to move themselves into the top 10 if they can put up one of the top 5 scores when this thing is all said and done. 30 worm thrusters to open up here.
Interesting, you see Mayfem on the right. You heard Jamie just say that the middle bag is the heaviest. Well, it's going to be doubly hard for Taylor Williamson because she is the tallest athlete on the team. So you can see the way the worm kind of oscillates there. She's going to be bearing the heavy bag, but she also doesn't have the benefit of taller teammates on the outside kind of propping up a little bit.
Well, you know that Williamson and Nisler are really familiar with this thing. I'm not sure how much work Haley Adams does with it.
Yeah, you know, Mayhem does a ton of group training, but they really dial in the worm implement, the team implements once they get into the season. Then you get to see, you know, the actual team athletes. This might be a little bit outside of Haley's wheelhouse, but you know, she's such a good athlete, she usually finds a way to overcome.
Krieger with just 4 reps to go. You saw Mayfem on the right of your screen switch up the order of their athletes, and now they're going to take another break.
And that might have been, you know, a clue there as Haley was the one that got a little bit out of sync, maybe not cued into the voice of their trio leader there. That's a hard adjustment to make too, going from individuals to the teams. If you're not used to having to pay attention mid-workout for those verbal cues, you know, it just takes a little bit of time to adjust.
That's Invictus. They are in lane number 12. And Mayfem, meanwhile, just getting to the pull-up bar for their round of 30. Team Krieger on the left of the blue pants. They just got hit with a no rep. Next to Mayfem in the white tops, that is Team GoWad. And then on the left of your screen, that is Junk.
Good to see the Invictus team out here. If you look on the left-hand side of your screen, it's Jen Ryan, Masters athlete. Back at the WCC when they qualified, she had a broken hand. She had a boxer's fracture from punching the railing, and she continued to finish the rest of the weekend. They still qualified. If you're looking for a team leader for an event like this, Jen Ryan's a great pick.
And they are now done and moving to the bikes for those 30 calories. That's now or never. Next to Invictus in the black and red.
Now or never got a trio of women with some games experience out of the Netherlands. It's nice to see the international contingent coming out. You know, it's one of the big calling cards of Wodapalooza. You know, being on the East Coast of the United States, it's almost equidistant flight-wise and time-wise from the West Coast, so you do get some of the European flair.
There is Haley Adams, who is wearing a Whoop strap. Heart rate just at 145 right now.
I don't think I've ever been on the Echo Bike and had my heart rate be that
I've never
low.
looked at the Echo Bike and had my heart rate that low.
It's funny, I was talking to the Whoop representative, Mike Lombardi, about some of the heart rate data, because we saw Rich Froning earlier at 140 when other athletes were at 180. He's like, oh yeah, I see that all the time. I've seen Rich's data.
No big deal.
Those Mayhem athletes, they're amazing.
All the teams closing out round 1, those 30 calories. Every athlete needs to complete 30. Then it's into the round of 20. The comeback team, the prior heat, they had the best score. They were able to get all 10 of their chest to bar pull-ups done in that third and final round. 12-minute time cap here.
You see the Born Primitive underdogs at the front of your screen here. Allison Scuds, Alex Zan, Kyrie Milligan out of that Underdog Athletics crew in Las Vegas.
That's a trio of now or never. Nanki van Overveld, and Brenda van Zanen, and Sigrid Luden Koolhaas. Team GoWad in the white tops and black pants. They are on to the worm for the second time. Mia Hesketh, Solveig Sigurdardottir, and Julie Hugard. Those three athletes.
Nice to see Mia Hesketh out on the competition floor. You know, she qualified for the games in the sanctionals era a couple years ago, but then stepped away from competition. Obviously, her and her husband, Phil Hesketh, had their first child. And as has been the case, you know, so many times before, we see a top female athlete, you know, step aside to start a family and still come back strong.
Team GoWad coming in third place overall, only 6 points back of Krieger and Mayfem. There are 3 points between first, second, third, and fourth place, and that gap switches to 2 farther down the leaderboard. But if GoWad can win this event and get a couple of people between themselves and Krieger and Mayfem, they have a chance of sitting atop the overall standings here.
Yeah, and there are no slouches. Obviously, Hesketh qualified in 2019 as an individual, but she's been on the team at the games in 2015. Sol Sigurdardottir, two-time team athlete at the games. Julie Hogard qualified as an individual in 2019, so some very talented women on this roster.
And they are back to the pull bar along with Krieger. They were on the left side of your screen. 20 chest to bar pull-ups have to be synchronized here. Mia Hesketh is on the left for Team GoWad. The team now on the left box, that is Team Krieger. Kristen Holta, Lena Richter, and Ingrid Odenmeyer. Approaching the 7-minute mark, 12-minute time gap here. And one of these teams hoping to be the first to complete all the work inside the allotted time. GoWad is now done. They have one more. Mia Hesketh thought they were finished and took off early. They still have a few reps to complete, and that will allow Krieger to move in front here, and they are back to the bike for their 20 calories. Krieger looking to take the outright overall lead into day number 2, coming into this event tied with Mayfem. And Kristen Holt is having an issue with her monitor.
So day 1 coming to a close for these teams here.
Looks like they may have gotten that cleared up.
Good thing, because right now they're on pace to finish. They are well ahead of the pace set by the previous time. Both GoWad and Krieger right now ahead of the pace needed to finish.
GoWad on the right side of the screen, they're back to the bikes. Mayfem now onto their 20 calories on the Echo bikes.
Looks like the Born Primitive underdogs have moved into third. I mentioned they came into this event in 4th, made a nice strong push. Another possible top 3 finish, moving into podium position, be a strong, nice solid finish for this newly formed team out of Las Vegas.
Born Primitive underdogs, Allison Scudds, Kyra Milligan, and Alex Gazan. Looking to move up the overall standings here. As Tommy said, 4th place overall. Coming in as hands in the air for Krieger and I believe GoWad as well. And Krieger's off, now onto the worm. And here comes GoWad as well. 10 reps on the worm.
You know, one thing we haven't really talked about is I do think that at times, if there's a lot of chaos on the floor, you have multiple teams shouting out in either lane, it does help to be speaking a different language, especially for a team like Norway. Being able to speak in your native language and have that stand out from the crowd makes it easier to pick up.
Krieger back to the pull-up bar. They get through all 10 of these, which they definitely will. They will be your new event leaders. And now here comes Gowad. It's still plenty of time left here for Krieger to wrap up another first place finish. They tied with Mayfem for first place in event number 1. Looking to win event number 2 outright. Just 10 calories that they need to complete on the bike as Gowad is closing out their set of 10 pull-ups. Less than 30 to go. Now 5 calories left for Krieger. Here comes Gowad. Now 10 seconds left. Holton's going to be the last woman to finish up. All 3 need to do their calories. And Krieger's going to get the event win. 10:56 unofficially, and they will be your overall leaders heading into day number 2.
Perfect day number 1 from Team Krieger. Just to give you a clue at how fit these 2 other women are as members of the second place team. They beat Kristen Holta off the bike every single round. That doesn't happen by chance.
Now Gowad is in, and they will take second place in the event. And Mayfem is across. Mayfem, thanks to that effort, looking like they will be in second place by themselves and only surrender 3 points to Gowad. They had a 6-point lead after event number 1.
And Mayfem really poured it on late there. They were, you know, 4th, 5th in the heat overall, and it looks like they found their stride towards the back end.
And that's the time cap. Kristen Holta and Team Krieger, 200 out of a possible 200 points on day number 1. Tied for first in event number 1, but the win for event number 2 is